Hi, my name is Catie Hausman. I'm in the School of Public Policy, and my background is as an economist. So I wanted to talk about my work on methane emissions. Methane is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions as a whole, as you probably know, and it comes from all sorts of places, cows, landfills, but I'm an environmental and energy economist, so my research has focused on methane emissions from oil and gas sectors. So why does methane come out of oil and gas activity? Well, the main component chemically of natural gas is just CH4, which is methane. So if natural gas leaks to the atmosphere, that is directly creating a greenhouse gas that contributes to warming. Oil and gas are co-located, so when you drill for oil, you get gas. And as you're drilling for oil, if you're not capturing that gas, then you're creating an emission of methane. Of course, natural gas is also a pretty valuable product. I really value in my cold Michigan winters that I can heat my home with natural gas. I cook with natural gas. We take hot showers in my house based on the natural gas that's heating our water. So the challenge for regulators has been figuring out how to reduce emissions and how to reduce climate change impacts of the natural gas sector while still allowing people to get the value out of natural gas that they're currently getting out of it. So under the Obama administration, a number of regulatory initiatives were proposed, and they largely targeted oil and gas drilling. Oil and gas suppliers had a somewhat predictable response to the proposal of these regulations, and you see this kind of statement being made. So this is from thehill.com, a news source that has a pretty big readership, in which it says, drillers, so natural gas and oil drillers, opposed the rule, this is an Obama-era rule, saying they are reducing emissions on their own because they have a financial incentive to capture as much methane as they can in order to put it on the market. I had said natural gas is methane, so if you leak some natural gas out of your well, you're leaking both methane, that's bad for the environment, but you're also leaking a product that you could have sold. So drillers were basically saying, well, why would we let leaks happen? We want to sell that natural gas. So this kind of sounds like something that an economist might say. It sort of has an econ-y flavor. And it might kind of sound like why an environmentalist doesn't like economists. And you see similar quotes in other really widely read news sources like the Washington Post and Bloomberg. It turns out this is not at all what an economist would say, a typical economist. And the reason is that it's missing a really basic argument from Econ 1, which is that there's a difference between the private value of the leaked natural gas, what a firm can recover on the market, and the damages to society when that gas leaks. And to put it in dollars perspective, so the current commodity value of leaked natural gas is something like $2 to $4 per 1,000 cubic feet, depending on where we are in the supply chain and where we are in the country. But the climate change externality, so the dollar damages associated with sea level rise and temperature rises, et cetera, is over $27 per 1,000 cubic feet. So there's this huge difference between the private incentive that the company faces and what society would like the company to do. So if there were a technology that could stop the leak from happening and it costs $10 per 1,000 cubic feet to implement, the private company is not going to do that. But we as a society would very much like the company to implement it. So in my work, I have, this is just a brief snapshot of some of the things I've been working on, a policy digest that basically just says what I just said. This is with Daniel Ramey, who's also in the Ford School, but also going through current regulatory initiatives to reconsider how we value those climate damages that I referred to, the $27. I also have a podcast that's related if you're interested. And then the more sort of academic work that I've looked at has looked at specifically the incentives at the distribution level, where things are a little bit different, and I'm happy to talk afterwards if anybody is interested in that. The economics get even more sort of complicated and interesting at the distribution level. I'll also say I'm the proud collaborator of Professor Matthew on one project and Professor Stolper on another project. And I love that at Michigan I'm able to work with those people across campus. Thank you.